This is the User Adoption Podcast with your host, Henrik de Gyor.
Who are you and what do you do?
My name is Josh Cooke. I'm the owner of Corner Perk Cafe, Bar, and Roasters. And we also have Roasting Rooms, a live music venue in downtown Bluffton.
How are you involved with user adoption?
So we, being in food and beverage and retail, users interact with the cafe and a variety of the different types of business that we do on a regular basis.
Josh, what are the biggest challenges and successes with user adoption?
So I would say the biggest challenges, start with that, is trying to get people to notice you the very first time. We've been in business just over 9 years, and in the very beginning, we were in a small, out-of-the-way, hard-to-find location. It was really difficult to get people's attention. We weren't far, but we just were out of sight. And then the parking lot that we were in, people would kind of pass us, and they would have to remember, even though it was only 50 feet, to turn around, come back, and park in the parking lot, and then come in. So much of food and beverage is about go, 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 quick, speed, drive through. So just getting people's attention and programming their mind to say, I really do want to stop. Let me make sure that I take the time to do that. So it's different now that we've moved. We're in a very visible, front of mind location. So in fact, whereas we used to just beat our heads against the wall trying to do enough marketing to get people to stop, now we're kind of in the mix of where people already are going. So we got their attention now. It becomes more about loyalty, frequently returning, purchasing more items once they're here, that sort of thing. Some of the successes, I would say, that would definitely be one is visibility. User adoption if we talk about users as people that maybe the first time they heard about us, being relevant, being meaningful, and people caring, because they could see us all day long, right? We probably have 10 times the amount of users as we do the amount of regulars, So a regular would be someone who gets what we're doing and comes often. A lot of people see us as a coffee shop, and we certainly feature coffee as our prominent offering. But a lot of people don't realize we're what I consider a brunch cafe. And so we have, skillets, bacon and eggs, French toast, shrimp and grits, citrus avocado toast. And we really do about, just as much in food as we do in beverages. And so taking the user from someone who just has an awareness about who we are to someone who is a guest that we want to have them over to our home. We want to show them who we are. We want them to realize that we're an important part of the community and we want to be a part of their lives. That would be sort of the transitional phases maybe of user adoption for us. And we've had a lot of success with it. It hasn't been easy, but we've made some key moves. And then we're constantly looking for ways to tell that story and wrap people into the culture. And I think that's how we sort of bring them into that next level.
What advice would you like to share with people working on improving user adoption?
I would say the most success we've had is with face-to-face or tangible ways of interacting with guests. So if we see them out in the community through community events, if we're at similar nonprofit functions, if they come in the door the first time, saying hi as soon as possible, asking about their life, I think engagement, if I can sum it down to one word, would probably be the best advice that I could say. There's so many robots, for lack of a better word, in our society today. And it's almost as if, and you see this a lot in tech, but it's almost as if people are trying to hire out all of the uncomfortable communication elements of our society to protocol. And that's not customer service. Customer service is helping your customer. Friendliness is not customer service either. Mm-hmm. People a lot of times will say, how do you rate your interaction? And I think what they're hoping you'll say is they were very polite. Okay. But really, politeness should be like a given.
But it's not enough?
No, customer service is actually serving your customer. Mm-hmm. It's solving their problem. Mm-hmm. It's helping make sure that they got what they came in for. Or otherwise they'll leave.
But not robotically, to your point.
Yeah, it's irrelevant.
Right.
If I come into your store, it's because I went out of my way because I needed something from you. And I think of the cell phone provider, it's kind of a great example. You go in there and they give you a phone number or a website to call, and then there's no real answer at the end of that. And what they're really hoping is that it improves their numbers at the end of the day, because you're not going to go to that element to do that thing unless you really have to, in which case you will. And none of it's pleasant because you're trying to understand a system that you have a very limited interface with. Right. Anyhow, that's a rabbit trail.
No, that's true. There's a contract where, unlike going to a coffee shop, to your point.
Yeah. So thank you for bringing me back.
Yeah, please.
It's sort of the opposite of what has made us successful with user interaction. We aim to overserve that guest in the name of being a decent human being, but also in the name of really providing that guest with what they came here for in the first place. There's a lot of opportunities to get coffee, to get breakfast sandwiches nowadays even. Sure. We want to provide the best quality product that we can because we care about our friends, family, and neighbors that come to us. But we also want to maintain a human element of actually serving that user.
Where can we find more information about user adoption and your work on the subject?
I read a lot. I have been reading lately a book called Made to Stick. Mm-hmm. It's a marketing anthem it's a sticky idea about what resonates with people. I've read Outliers recently, another great book.
By Malcolm Gladwell.
Yeah, Malcolm Gladwell. Mm-hmm. So many good nuggets in that. It took me a while to read because I kind of really digested it. Mm-hmm. And so I do read a lot. I watched a bunch of TED Talks. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to know what is coming from me creatively and what I'm a sum of the parts of the things that I've digested.
Totally fair.
So I guess I would say just find a subject that interests you and try to read it and learn as much about it as you can. Yeah.
Great. Well, thanks, Josh.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
For more on this, visit useradoptionpodcast.com. Don't forget to please subscribe, rate, and review. And for a book about this, check out useradoptionbook.com. Tune in next week for the next episode. Thanks for listening.